Do you think a bachelor's degree with your experience with college and everything, do you think a bachelor's degree is a necessary key to attaining success?
Ooh, I am not your role model on this one. Yeah, absolutely. Stay in school. Look. I think it helps. I loved the time that I spent in college. I wish I could have gotten more time. I did not choose to leave. I just happened to build Facebook, and it kind of made me leave. But if I had the opportunity to learn for 2 more years in college, college is this magical time, right, where you get to explore different interests and focus on different things, and meet great people, and that is not something that I would have wanted to have given up. And if I could have magically if I could have done Facebook in my senior year, I would have done that. Or after I left, I would have done that, and I wish I could have stayed in college. But, and of course, there's no doubt, there's a lot of research that shows that having a bachelor degree absolutely does help increase your job potential, your earnings potential, all that. So yeah, look, it's kind of crazy for, I'm not necessarily the best spokesperson for this message, but like, unless there's a really, really good reason to leave college, you really should finish college. And even me, I'm going back to college to I'm going to get a degree this year. Harvard finally allowed me to come back. And I have to say, I think that this is probably going to be the thing that my parents are most proud of me for. So look, yes, I'm not the right messenger, but stay in school.
Most important is to what I like to call surround yourself with your dream team. I call it Josh Altman's dream team, and it consists of a good amount of support from people that I trust, value their opinion, and who I surround myself with. I always say that you are the average of 5 people that you surround yourselves with, right? You ever hear that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
Jim
did.
Rohn said that.
Totally
you didn't
make that up. I just made that up right now. So I think it's super important to do that. So in real estate, for example, I have the best mortgage broker who's available 24/7 for me, and we've worked our way up in the business together. I have everybody from the best title guy and escrow guy and all that. So I surround myself with this team of people who I can trust, and they can guide me in the right directions of whatever I do. So that's one way, obviously, in any business, is just surround yourself with people who support you.
I want you to read one self-help book. It's not a lot, just 1 per month. That's not a lot. You can handle that. Most self-help books are pretty short. So all you need to do is just have a list. And in fact, I have a list of some of my favorite, most powerful self-help books on my website. You can go check that out at actualize.org. But this is a huge habit. Here's why. Because self-help books have basically distilled all the principles of success and happiness that human beings have discovered in the last 2,000 years. And especially the last 100 years, there's been so much research done on how to be successful in business, how to be successful in relationships, how to be successful with your happiness levels, how to meditate properly, the scientific benefits of meditation, and so on and so forth. And self-help books are not just abstract, very pedantic type of books that you might read in college. These are very practical. These are written to get you results. These self-help books have exercises in them. They have techniques. Read those. Start practicing those. If you just read 1 book per month for the next, let's say, 8 years, that would be close to 100 books. That would give you the entire theoretical foundation that you need to master life.
Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. When I was a little girl in Mississippi, growing up on the farm, only buckwheat as a role model, watching my grandmother boil clothes in a big iron pot through the screen door because we didn't have a washing machine and made everything we had. I watched her and realized somehow inside myself, in the spirit of myself, that although this was segregated Mississippi, and I was colored and female, that my life could be bigger, greater than what I saw. I remember being 4 or 5 years old. I certainly couldn't articulate it, but it was a feeling, and a feeling that I allowed myself to follow. I allowed myself to follow because if you were to ask me what is the secret to my success, it is because I understand that there is a power greater than myself that rules my life. And in life, if you can be still long enough in all of your endeavors, the good times, the hard times, to connect yourself to the source. I call it God, you can call it whatever you want to, the force, nature, Allah, the power. If you can connect yourself to the source and allow the energy that it is your personality, your life force, to be connected to the greater force, anything is possible for you. I am proof of that. I think that my life, the fact that I was born where I was born and the time that I was and have been able to do what I've done, speaks to the possibility, not that I am special, but that it could be done.
You realized that Neighbors was a springboard when you were doing it, or were you kind of like...
It took a couple months to like realize. I mean, I was 17 at the time. I just finished high school 2 months earlier, and I'm now living in Melbourne. I mean, I was playing catch up really quickly anyway. I was living on my own in a new city where I'd never met anyone, 2-hour flight away from anyone I knew, and I had no money, and I was like just trying to find couches to sleep on at that point. Plus, before you're 18, you can't like sign up and get electricity bills and stuff like that, so no one would rent a place to me. I didn't have any money. The whole thing was like, I was just trying to like keep my head above water at that point. And then once it settled in, I kind of got settled there, and you know, I was working constantly. Then that's when I thought like, oh yeah, I've seen people make the jump from here to America. So my choices are either stay on, you know, be good enough to stay on this show for decades, the way some cast members have, which, you know, you'd have a lovely life in Melbourne, or you screw it up and you get fired, which I obviously didn't want to take that option, or try and make the transition to the American industry, you know, try and move to LA and do pilot season, as I had seen a few cast members do at that point. So that was my goal. Any
fear when you made the flight?
Yes, but it wasn't as scary. Yes, definitely, but it wasn't as scary as that first move to Melbourne. That first move to Melbourne was terrifying because I was just, you know, like I said, I didn't have the money at the time. I didn't like have any. I didn't know anyone. At least when I moved to LA, like when I did that flight to LA, I knew 2 people there already who had already been on Neighbors, and I had my money saved. So if anything went really wrong, I knew I could afford to get in a cab, drive to the airport, and buy a ticket home. And so like that's all I needed to know. I was like, cool, I'm sweet. Whatever happens, like if anything goes really wrong, I can always afford to fly home. It'll be fine. And
did it ever, once you got here, did it ever seem like anything was going really wrong, or?
Yeah, there's obviously like the ups and downs and like the crazy. As anyone who's moved to a new city before, I'm sure they've had crazy experiences. So I had all that for sure. But no, it was fine. It would have had to take a lot to make me fly home. I was like, I will not be a failure. I came here and I'm not going home until I've made it in this business. So.
The way I do branding, I sell so infrequently that I think some of you that are watching me the hardest core need to hear this, which is it's okay to sell, especially if you believe in something. Like if you believe in what you're selling, and that's what I'm spending a lot of time on now, trying to spend more time on really getting to a place where I really believe in stuff. Instead I was just passive, not creating. So I wasn't selling because I didn't believe, you know, and just letting everything come to me. But as I create these, you know, events, Vayner Experience, a lot of events, very big on events. Events are so valuable. Just watching the 4Ds crew, its value and like how it's impacting their business for $10,000 right there. I mean, you see, I know you're getting emails. The wine club, like $150 worth of wine for 55 bucks. Like I've just locked in November's. It's gonna make all your Thanksgivings ridiculous. The conference, $500 2-hour session in my stomping grounds. Good deal compared to like other conferences that I speak at. but you're getting the wine for free. Or you're getting the talk for free and you're getting the wine. So like, I'm very fascinated because I'm putting more pressure on myself to create things that I really believe in, which then allows me to sell more. And I just think for a lot of you, selling, the ask, the right hook is very difficult. You're passive. You like the idea of like feeling good about like giving out content, this and that. When you believe in something, you can sell it, and you should put more pressure on yourself to create things that you believe in. Biggest problem is so many of you sell shit you don't believe in. You're just doing it for the money. You're gonna lose. And that I don't like.